All right, it says I'm live. So we come back for another whiskey review. Got a Scotch this time. My NSLC, which is the chain of liquor stores, government-controlled liquor stores that provide the majority of alcohol sales in my province. They recently got upgraded to an A selection store, so that means that they now have access to everything that's available to the Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation. As before, they were like a B or C store, so they had like a glass ceiling. There's stuff they just could not stock on their shelves, but now they can stock all kinds of stuff, so all kinds of new whiskeys flooding in, which is exciting for me. All kinds of new beers, of course, as well. All kinds of new products are coming in. So now they got to make shelf space for them. So no longer are we going to have like 18 facings of like some shitty whiskey that no one cares about. Now we can break those up and have a bunch of neat new scotches. Like I'd say there's about 30 new to various whiskeys of various types available to me now. So that's cool. And we're going to look at one of them today. This is, and if you read this bottle, I'm sure plenty of people have made this joke reviewing this whiskey, but it reads teabag, does it not? Yes, it does. If you're just looking at it, but it is actually pronounced Chevec, and that's about where the proper pronunciation and is going to start and stop for me, because the rest of this stuff there's lots of Gaelic on the actual fucking label, and there's some Gaelic as far as the name of the distillery that this stuff comes from. I'm just probably going to butcher, so forgive me. I'm not looking up the proper pronunciation. I don't really care that much. But as it says, pronounced Chevec in Gaelic, it means a wee dram. If you look on the bottle, there's like a tugboat there or something. I've read somewhere else that it also sort of is named after that boat, but that could just be bullshit. Typical whiskey lore bullshit could be. So it was originally produced for Gaelic-speaking Hebridean Islands. I probably pronounced that improperly. Following the best of traditional methods, this whiskey is unchill filtered, which is weird. This is a blended Scotch, also called a Gaelic whiskey. And it is only at 40%, but it is non-chill filtered. Very, very rare to see that. So it's retaining its natural oils. It's not having a lot of them filtered out. So you're going to get a 40% whiskey with presumably more flavor than you typically get from a blend at that level, at that ABV or that 80 proof. This is a connoisseur's blend. It contains a high proportion of aged single malts. They no longer claim it on the bottle, I believe, but they used to claim it was like 40% malt. So 40% malt and then 60% grain whiskey, which is a fairly high percentage of malt generally that you'll find in a blend. So that's pretty interesting. So like I said, 40%, 80 proof. I paid $40.92 in the NSLC for this. This is kind of considered a mid-level, well-priced whiskey, not quite bottom shelf or anything like that, which is kind of a term I don't really like anyway to be used with whiskeys, because generally you're not going to find a bad whiskey on the market. So to call it bottom shelf kind of is a misnomer in a way. It's kind of designating it something it's really not, in my opinion. But yeah, so there we go, Chevec. And I've had it in my Glencairn for a little while now. So this is from the Prabon na Linn company on the Isle of Skye. So like I said, I probably pronounced that incorrectly as well. Like I said, the high malt content, it comes from a couple different regions all over Scotland. So you've got some Islay, you've got some islands, you've got some Highland and Speyside regions all in this. I've seen different sources say that that the whiskeys in this range anywhere from 8 to 11 or 5 to 11. Could have been different vintages. It very well may be now 5 to 11 and it was 8 to 11 before. I don't know. but fairly young stuff for the most part in this. They use, to some degree, there's some ex-sherry casks being used in some of the malts that are included in this, and some of this malt is also peated. So it has a very diverse little flavor profile, apparently, that's supposed to be going on with this. So we will see. Cheers. We'll go right to the aroma here. So right off the bat, there's a bit of apple sweetness before some darker fruits sort of come in on the nose. I'm definitely thinking that there's I'm getting a little bit of that dark fruit sherry cask note in there. All these notes are fairly faint. Getting a little bit of vanilla in the background. And the peat I am getting it. I wouldn't say necessarily peat smoke. It's more of iodine, seaside character kind of thing. It's very, very small. It's not a big Islay peat bomb kind of thing you're getting here. It's just very well blended in with everything here. It's more the sherry casks and that sort of apple sweetness going on. So I'd say maybe there's a bit more Speyside influence in this. I'm getting like slightly heathery kind of notes as well. It smells very good. Maybe a little too sweet for my taste, but we'll see. We'll go right to the taste. The aroma is not always going to tell you what the taste is going to be. So cheers. We'll go right to the taste here and see what we think. Craig is in the chat. How's it going, man? From Kent Beer Reviews. And he says, I pronounced everything right, apparently. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the nose does translate fairly well to the taste in this case. Definitely more sherry cask comes out in the actual taste. You can tell that there's more body to this with the non-chill filtering. The oils are more in there. It's a bit more viscous. It's very medium bodied, but very solid. Big time sherry cask influence here. I'm getting a lot of nice little dark fruit on the sides of the tongue. A little bit of apple initially in the taste, almost like apple pie or something like that, because there's a bit of just a teeny bit of a spicy component to this as well. The finish is peat. There's a bit of a vegetal peat note here. Little teeny bit of smokiness, not big, just little whiff of it. It's more, again, medicinal, vegetal peat, seaside character in the background. And again, it's very small. So not your Islay bomb, not your, not even like, a low grade, like low peated Talisker or something like that. Or what would be a better example? Something that's generally very low peated. Doesn't matter. Just name off anything in the back of your mind that is slightly peated, and it's probably around that level. And as you drink on a little bit more, I am getting a little bit more smokiness coming out now in the finish, which is nice. It balances that sweetness pretty well. I was a bit worried that this was going to be a bit too sweet for me, but it's nice. And you don't really have to sip on it either, even though it's got that a bit more flavor coming up. It's still very drinkable. I dare say you could probably mix this with something if you wanted to. I probably wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but you could do it. That's good. Goes down very smooth. No heat to it at all. Just a slight spicy character in the smoke, but that's about it. This is, for its price and the way it drinks, expertly blended. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck in this, and I think the chill filtering makes a big difference here. But you can't just look the other way on the blending technique probably being used in this. They got their stuff down. This is an interesting one. This one sort of goes in the face of expectations for a 40% blend. So Chevek, I like it a lot. I'm going to go. Man, you know what? I'm just thinking about this. I want to see this at like 46%. That would be something to see where the flavors go. But you know, that's just a pipe dream. But Chevek, it's getting an A-. That's really, really good stuff. Well worth seeking out. Well priced, and it's expertly blended, and it's got a lot of flavor. So if you're looking for a nice blend with a little bit more than usual flavor profile to it, it's got some good complexity, then this would be the way to go. Thank you for watching, and we'll just check here if there's any more comments. No, there's not. So cheers to you, Craig, who was watching live, and thanks to anyone else who watches, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.